mind was something he'd had to do, a task so vitally important that it overrode all other considerations, even his own survival. But right now, he couldn't put his finger on what this task had been, and he didn't have time to dwell on it further as a burst of gunfire from close by galvanized him into action. He sat up, wincing from the sharp pain in his head where it had struck the floor. Coughing and choking as the acrid smoke caught in his throat, he knew his first priority was to get himself to cover. He crawled through a doorway where the smoke was less dense, and found that he was in an office with a high ceiling and a desk with a vase of flowers on it. Kicking the door shut, he lay behind it while he checked himself over. His hair was sodden from an injury at the back of his head, but he couldn't tell how serious it was. The skin around it was numb, and he knew from experience that head wounds always bled profusely. He ran his hands over the rest of his body, finding no further injuries. He wasn't in uniform, but wearing a coat and civilian clothes, none of which he recognized. But at least he had his military-issue belt around his waist, and his pistol was still in its holster. He took it out, its weight reassuring in his hand. Something he knew. He waited, listening for sounds on the other side of the door. He didn't have to wait for long. After a brief lull, he caught English voices and the sound of boots crunching on debris in the hallway where he'd been. Someone shouldered the door of the room open and stormed in. The man was dressed in black, with police emblazoned across his chest. He wore a gas mask and helmet and was armed with an automatic weapon, the likes of which Colonel Bismarck had never seen before. Catching the policeman by surprise, the colonel wrapped an arm around his neck and rendered him unconscious. While the man's radio buzzed, the colonel quickly removed his uniform and dressed himself in it. As he slipped on the gas mask, he realized that even more blood had seeped from his head injury, but he couldn't worry about that now. He familiarized himself with the assault rifle, which he found was pretty straightforward. Then he emerged from the office and took a couple of steps into the black smoke, only to come face to face with another policeman dressed in identical siege gear. As their gaze met through the lenses of their masks, the other man gave a hand signal, but the colonel didn't know how he was meant to respond. A question formed in the other man's eyes. Thinking that his disguise had been blown, the colonel began to raise the H&K assault rifle in his hands. He was saved by another explosion that ripped through the hallway and swiped him off his feet. In a daze, the colonel picked himself up and staggered through the main entrance where the doors hung crookedly on broken hinges. Almost losing his balance as he missed the step, he found himself reeling on the pavement outside the building. He stopped dead. He was confronted by a cordon of armed men, too many for him to take on. They were all behind discarded vehicles or riot shields, their laser sights clustered on him. He wasn't prepared for what happened next. With his head still spinning and his senses dulled, he didn't react when his rifle was snatched from his grip. At the same time, he was hoisted off his feet by two policemen and carried away in double-quick time. "It's all right, old mate, don't you worry. We'll get you some help," the man on his left told him sympathetically. The second policeman said something, but the colonel didn't take it in. His escorts removed his helmet and gas mask. "You're not one of our guys," the policeman said as he saw the colonel's bloodied face. "Must be from the E-team, a country boy," the other said. But the colonel wasn't listening. Not 20 feet away, a body was stretched out in the gutter. Around it, a circle of policemen laughed and joked as one of them nudged it with his toe cap. The colonel recognized the dead man instantly. It was a new Germanian from his own regiment. He knew the soldier and his wife well. They'd recently had a daughter born to them. The colonel tried to pull against the two policemen supporting him, but it was taken as a show of anger. "Yeah, the rest of them will be bagged and tagged within the hour," the largest of the two policemen promised in a growl. "Whoever these bastards are, we've already slotted 4 of them." As the colonel continued to try to free himself, the other policeman spoke, his words staccato as if he was about to explode with fury. "Take it easy, officer. Leave it to us to finish the job.